going on, Jerome's, as NFL jobs are firing fast and furious across the league, and head coaching jobs are being taken, coordinators are being lined up. Update on how the Vikings' current coaching staff is looking, and it's looking pretty good. Obviously, you want guys to move up in the ranks in the profession, but if they want to run it back, especially after a very successful 2024 season, well, it's only successful if you win the Super Bowl. Yeah, but I love the coaching staff, love the culture. We'll love keeping them around. Starts and ends with Brian Flores. So Flores, who got zero goose egg D'Angelo Russell job interviews last offseason, got 3 requests this time around. Took all 3 with the Jets, the Jaguars, and the Bears. Now, obviously with Flores, even though he does deserve another crack to be a head coach, the years with the Dolphins, ownership definitely effed up that one. But of course, the lawsuit and what Tua and Fitztragic said, blah, 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 blah. For me, if the Vikings had a head coaching opening, which they do not, because Kevin McCown just signed an extension, I would go with Brian Flores, man. True leader of men. I think his defense is pretty damn legit. Plus, I think that he's learned a lot over those last couple of years with the Vikings, and it probably looks to be another season in 2025 because a lot of dominoes have fallen. So Ben Johnson obviously taking the Bears job. And I never saw this mofo smile once with the Lions. Not once, but now he's literally just like all grins. And then Aaron Glenn just got the Jets gig. I think that's a great signing by the New York Football Jets. Aaron Glenn, former first-round pick by the Jets. Bill Parcells' disciple. What's great about Aaron Glenn, too, is that he purposely went through every single level. Like, he started out in scouting after he was done playing. He was into restaurants for a little bit. So scouting, quality control, assistant position coach, DB coach, D coordinator, head coach. I love that he went through brick by brick. It's fantastic. Also, with the Lions, they're losing great defensive line coach Terrell Williams. Go to New England to be Vrabel's defensive coordinator. So you love to see the brain drain. Plus, they could lose offensive line coach Hank Fraley somewhere as well. But also with the Jaguars, even though they fired Trent Baalke, it looks like it's their favorite to hire our guy Rob Saleh, former Jets head coach, who Aaron Rodgers got fired. Great. But it's so funny with the Jaguars. So they had their sights on Ben Johnson. They had their sights on Buccaneers OC Liam Cohen. And they got told no by both because of Trent Baalke. No one wants to work with Baalke. And then they're like, oh, we missed out on our top 2 preferred candidates. All right, Trent Baalke's out. Yeah. But this could reopen things. Flores did not have a request to have a second interview with the Jaguars, so who knows. But as right now, it looks like Flores is not going to get a head coaching gig, and he'll be running it back with the Vikings 2025, which, glorious. A pissed off Brian Flores with that defense in year 3, I can see it now. Also requested for interviews Josh McCown. He interviewed for the Jets head coaching opening. McCown, former backup back in the day with the Jets. Now, he didn't get it, obviously, because Aaron Glenn got the head coaching gig, but some speculation that he could join Aaron Glenn's staff. But NFL insider Jordan Schultz said, meanwhile, Vikings quarterbacks coach Josh McCown, who previously interviewed for the Jets head coaching job, is also being considered for a role on Glenn's staff. However, McCown is considered unlikely to leave Minnesota. Now, they did change the rules about coaches blocking interviews, so you can block lateral moves. So if, say, Aaron Glenn wanted McCown to be his quarterback's coach, which is his role here with the Vikings, right? So the Vikings and Kevin O'Connell could block that move since it's lateral. But if it was for an offensive coordinator role, can't block that. So basically what it comes down to head coach, coordinators, and then every assistant under that is considered a lateral move. So even if it was the assistant to the regional quarterback coach, like you could block that if it was if they were interested in a quarterback's coaching job, right? But anything from that bottom rung up to a coordinator, you can't block that. Anything from a coordinator up to a head coach, can't block that either. So McCown, I think that he did great things with Sam Darnold. I think he'll do great things here with J.J. McCarthy as well. And I think that he is going to be a guy that's destined to be a future head coach, maybe a stop along the way to be an OC, but future is bright, but obviously would love to keep his talents here for another season. Someone who may leave is Grant Udinski. So Udinski, who had been blocked for other jobs by Kevin McConnell in previous years, but Udinski is seen as a wunderkind, 28 years young, was called back for a second interview with the Seahawks. It seems like he and Clint Kubiak Yes, Declan Kubiak are finalists for the OC job in Seattle under Mike Macdonald. He had been requested to interview for the Patriots OC job as well, but that ultimately obviously went to Josh McCown. So Udinski, I mean, could get some steam. And since he is on the third rung as an assistant quarterback coach, Kevin O'Connell can't block him for interviewing for an offensive coordinator job. And I think that's something that could be in the offing. I think Udinski is a rising star in this league. Plus, I figured it out. I know why people want to follow this man. It's because of the nose, because it is very distinct. It is very Roman. It's like Trajan, or Caesar, Trajan, Caesar, Augustus. You want to follow this man to the gates of hell, and you won't back down. It's the nose, man. Yeah, which kind of sucks because our modern softness. I mean, Udinski's a football guy, but if he was a non-football guy, I bet you he'd get rhinoplasty, just reduce that Roman nose. No, the nose plays. That's right, baby. So, pending on Udinski getting that Seahawks OC job, that's it for the Vikings as of right now. Now, as some other jobs are starting to fill up, Raiders TBD, maybe Flores gets a sniff there, but it is interesting that Wes Phillips, Vikings OC, as well as Keenan McCardle, Vikings wide receiver coach, have not gotten a request as of yet. Now, some of these head coaching jobs are being filled in, so maybe there will be a request for offensive coordinators for these two, but I don't know. I mean, the Vikings offense is pretty damn good this year, but it is kind of nice that the Vikings aren't being rated, unlike the Raiders, because that is a huge brain drain, for the Lions, because that is a huge brain drain for them. Speaking of brain drain, but for the Vikings, there will be some shifting along some of the bottom assistants, some of the quality control move on, some of the assistant to the regional blah, blah, blah. There could be some changes at position coaches as well. I mean, guys that you want more from, Chris Cooper, offensive line coach, running game coordinator, run backs coach, Curtis Modkins, potentially. But overall, it could be a spot where the Vikings essentially run it back with the same staff as 2024 for the most part, because Flores in place, Kevin O'Connell obviously in place with that extension. Phillips could be there. McCown could stay in place. So, McCardle. So overall, certainly would be happy. But like I said, we obviously want some of these guys to move up in the profession as high as they want to. But if they're back for another year, love the continuity. Love this rooster in place as well. So it could mean some great things for the Vikings moving forward. Your thoughts are thoughts. Take a look at some of the Vikings assistant updates. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section. You guys know what to do. Skull production value.